If your guitar suddenly sounded out of tune, but somehow better, would you keep playing it? Because this band is doing exactly that. And it sounds insane. Today I will show you what they are doing and how you can recreate it with one simple tool and trick. Hey Guitar Champion, what's going on? I'm 𝗚𝗏𝗦𝗏, back from my practice dojo, and today we are going to dive into one of the most unique sounds that I've heard in years. Here we go. A Franco-Canadian duo creating groovy, mathy, progressive instrumental music with just bass, guitar and drums. Their music is funky, their music is groovy, their music is interesting, and I found out it is because of two reasons. One reason is odd meters, but I mean odd meters, it's nothing new nowadays. We know odd meters from Dream Theater, from Tool, King Crimson, Haken, Genesis, all the beautiful progressive music that we have out there. But the second thing is, which makes this band really interesting and kinda new, is microtonality. So first, let's dive deep into what is actually microtonality. In Western music, we divide an octave into 12 notes. Microtonal music goes in between those notes. So instead of going from one note to the next note, we have a note in between that. These are often called quarter tones. Players like Dave Wyszynski have been exploring this for years, or artists like King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, 𝙬𝙤𝙢𝙬𝙤 probably absolutely butchered the pronunciation, the Mercury Tree and many more. Especially like in traditional folkloristic music from the Middle East, we will find a lot of microtonality. But combining this with modern grooves and with odd meters, that is actually something that we haven't heard so often in the past. One thing is you get access to a completely new emotional range and emotional spectrum. Notes, they sound more human, like a singing voice, because we can slide in between those notes, like we can do with a voice, for example, as we see it often like in Indian traditional music. The big con with microtonality is it often sounds weird and out of tune for our ear. I call this an uncanny valley of music. You know, uncanny valleys are probably, for example, from movies, when a specific CGI effect is kind of weird, but you cannot put the finger on it what is actually wrong, because it doesn't really sound like an actual human, but it should represent actually a human. That's kind of uncanny valley, and we have the same kind of effect with microtonality. The tone is not really out of tune, but it's also not really in tune, and this can be quite irritating for our ear. But still something that I would love to check out. If there's only a method to change and manipulate your guitar in a way that you can use microtonality, wait a second, there is a method. I recently saw a reel from my good friend Lisa, aka Luna Fox on Instagram, where she demonstrated a really cool way to transform your guitar into a microtonal guitar. And I tried it out. And I failed miserably, but more about this in a second. What she is doing is she took zip ties to create new frets for your fretboard. And I tried it out. Let's see how this worked. So first I tried it out with zip ties that I found in the basement of my mom's place, and they are way too big. It didn't really work at all. Then I wanted to get some new smaller zip ties. Problem is, it was Easter weekend. And on holidays in Germany, every store is closed. No matter what day we have, the stores are closed. So I had to wait like 3-4 days to get to the next store and to get smaller zip ties. In the meantime, I tried it out with these kind of things here. It didn't really work as well. So I got finally much smaller zip ties like these ones, and it also didn't really work. Because the problem is to get the zip ties around the neck, that's kind of a hustle. The zip ties, they are moving around. So I asked Luna Fox how she did it. And she replied to me that she was using glue. So I again went into the basement of my mom's place and I got glue. Yeah, like wood glue. The problem is something that is found at my mom's place is usually pretty old. And this glue here was expired on the 3rd of April 2016, so 10 years ago. The glue of course didn't work. So I got new glue. It also didn't work. But the problem is, I think it didn't work because of the method, because it worked when Luna Fox was doing it. It more didn't work because I'm a sucker when it comes to DIY. I can't do these things. I'm not patient enough. I'm not, I don't know, precise enough. I have a bunch of holes in my apartment, in my practice dojo here, which are absolutely fucked up because I don't know how to do these things. I'm good at this. I'm not really good at this, or at this, or at doing this. So I sucked. I failed miserably. It didn't work for me. There was still, threads are still moving around, even though with the glue. And I don't know what I did wrong. So I asked again Luna Fox, and she actually sent me a video how she was doing it.
Justine, there's no need to slander the whole DIY community just because you cannot make it work. Take a look. All you need is a pair of scissors, a zip tie minus 25 centimeters long, double-sided tape, or moldable glue like Patafix. Then we're just going to take the little tip off because it's thinner than the rest. And now you can either measure the width of your fretboard, or you can just do a tinier piece so it covers just a few strings where you want the micro tonality to be. Now we have our little piece on which we can now either put our double-sided tape, or we can put a thin layer of that moldable glue on it. So now you can either measure the exact middle of 2 frets, or you can just use your eye measure. I'm not going to take off the strings for this, but you definitely can if you want to make it super neat. So I'm just going to slide the new fret in the middle here, and then give it a good push so that it stays. So the only thing you should look out for here is that your zip ties are not actually taller than your frets. I mean, if they're a little bit lower than it, you should be fine. It is not going to sound like a few $1,000 microtonal guitar, but you will instantly have more than 12 notes on your guitar, so have some fun.
So it is working, and if you are not as miserably as I am when it comes to DIY stuff, then I highly recommend to check out that method. Otherwise, fortunately, there are companies where you can order frets to glue on your neck. That's definitely something that I want to try out because I'm really on that Angine de Poitrine hype train, and I want to do stuff like they are doing, and I would love to have like a shred solo in this kind of style. So I'm definitely going to check out one of these companies where you can order real frets to glue on your neck before I have to get a new neck for my Ibanez guitars. And if you haven't checked out Angine de Poitrine yet, I highly recommend to do that. It's so much fun. I absolutely love the music. It is groovy. It is really interesting to listen to. There's definitely something to learn about when it comes to creativity. The melodies itself, the grooves itself, that's actually pretty easy when it comes to tone material. It's kind of basic pentatonic stuff mixed with some odd meters and sometimes going into more exotic scales with more half and 1.5 tone steps in between notes. But I think again, the main thing that makes this music interesting is the microtonality. And I tried it out, and I will keep you up to date how my journey of microtonality will be in the future. If you want to be up to date when it comes to my future microtonality experiments, I highly recommend to, of course, subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet. And of course, leave a like, leave a nice comment. I'm going to see you in my next video. I wish you a lot of fun learning, practicing and mastering the guitar. Cheers and power your progress.